Thursday Hoops. A difficult matchup with his quick-release flip shots. Antoine Jamison and the Cleveland Cavaliers go up against the Boston Celtics and their satin-smooth long-range assassin, Ray Allen. Cavaliers. Celtics. Up next.
The Cavaliers come into an Eastern Conference contest today. Here with Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan for 2K Sports in our presentation of the NBA. Here's the starting group for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mo Williams and Anthony Parker pair up in the backcourt. Jamison and Varejao in the middle. And Moon. And for the Celtics, Rondo and Allen make up the backcourt. It's Pierce and KG at the forward with Perkins in the middle. With age comes wear and tear, and the Celtics experienced some of those injuries when you look at last season, Garnett and Pierce having knee issues. But you know what, Clark? Even youngsters on their team got banged up. Big baby Glenn Davis, he had a thumb injury, a broken thumb. He had an ankle injury. I mean, health is such a big issue for young and old.
Yeah, that's just part of the game, Kevin. You hope that you're fortunate as a team not to have crippling injuries to key players. And Rondo's hamstring, I think a part of it is just playing in a tough division. And another part is certainly age. That's a factor. But you can't say that for guys like Rondo and even Big Baby Davis.
Now let's go over to Doris Burke, who had a chance to talk with head coach Byron Scott.
I asked him what he'd like to see most from his team today, and the first thing he said was, we'd love to take Kevin Garnett out of his game. He's really the engine that drives them, just an unbelievable competitor. So he thinks if they can manage to slow down KG, it will have an effect on the entire team. We'll watch it play out, Kevin.
Thank you, Doris. And so it's the Cavaliers getting on the board first. The Cavaliers with the turnover. Clark, you mentioned health last year for the Celtics. Health has to be a concern for them again this year, too.
Without question. It's a matter of the coaching staff and the players massaging their minutes, taking care of their bodies, and doing the things necessary to be ready come postseason time.
Now here's Pierce. Inside to Perkins. Connects from in close. A chance to see Paul Pierce out of Kansas in his 13th season in the NBA. He set new career highs in field goal percentage, three-point percentage, and free throw percentage a season ago.
Yeah, it was the second lowest scoring total of his career, but the shots he did take were quality shots. I think Rajon Rondo grew into his role in leading the offense and also scoring in the offense, and that allowed Paul, I think, to choose his spots a little more.
That's a great point. So it's Cleveland now, following the bucket by the Celtics. 5 to shoot. Here's Varejao. It's rebounded by Kevin Garnett. About 3.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Here's Rondo, and he lays that one up and in. Rondo's got his first points of the night. And Paul Pierce so tough to stop offensively. He hits threes, a great pull-up jumper. Great repertoire.
Yeah, he does have a very, very versatile offensive game, and I think he's a big reason the Celtics are so balanced offensively because he's willing to make the pass as well.
And here's Boston. Right side, Rondo. Pass to Allen. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. Ray Allen, even at his age, is still a sight to behold when he takes that jump shot.
Yeah, he really is. He's got one of the sweetest jump shots we've ever seen in the history of the game. As pretty a shot as we'll see. And not just because it looks good, it goes in, too.
And the first one at the line is good. Jermaine O'Neal is checked in for Boston. Davis comes in for Kevin Garnett. Then for the Cavaliers, Graham comes in for Jamario Moon. And Sessions subbed in for Anthony Parker. That's also good. So he hits both free throws. So with Ray Allen, Clark, you see him being that way for the next few years, a specialist?
You know, he's a better all-around player than people have given him credit for. I mean, his shooting is so superb and so special that's what draws the most attention. But he's a good all-around basketball player.
And slam dunk. Wow! Now the Sprite slam cam for the replay.
Great D leads to easy offense.
Here's Williams. 2:35 left in the first. Right side, Jamison. Over Davis. And Antoine Jamison, the bucket on the assist by Williams. Jamison's got his second basket of the night. The Celtics with the lead. Here's Rondo. Kept alive. Pierce. And good with the shot. And the whistle blows for the contact and a chance for one more. And making a change here, the Cavaliers. Parker's checked in.
Shooting for Boston. Paul Pierce. Shooting.
And no problem at the line here for the three-point play. One thing about Paul Pierce, he's still a steadying presence. You hear him getting interviewed. He's a very charismatic player, too.
Yeah, he is. He's very even-keeled. He's a terrific leader. And he's got a good sense of humor as well.
Let's check out what Doris Burke has for us.
Kevin, the Celtics are certainly not the fastest-paced team in the NBA, but in point guard Rajon Rondo, they have a one-man fast break. Paul Pierce said, we get the ball to him as much as possible when we get stops because he can create havoc. He's one of the fastest point guards in the league. He can also finish, and that's exactly what we need. Kevin?
Yeah, a lot of jump shooting on that team. He gives them that threat to get to the rim. Thanks, Doris. Timeout is called. First of the game for the Cavaliers. You know, Clark, Pierce has had his character questioned in the past. People have labeled him selfish or a hothead. I mean, is that accurate?
You know, I don't think so. Oftentimes when guys are developing who they are and what their identity is in the league, they can appear one way, but really at their core be totally different. And I think that's part of what you saw with Paul Pierce early on. Frustrated with not winning? Sure. But I think he's always been a pretty high-character guy.
And the Celtics making a change here. Wafers checked in. Now Sessions. To the paint. Parker. He's covered by Rondo. Shoots. Scooped up. Here's Verajao. O'Neal with the defensive effort.
Well, he doesn't have the softest touch. And with the D right in his face, that made all the difference.
And then Pierce with the dunk.
Kevin, they're fighting extremely hard right here. Bit by bit, just trying to pull away.
The Cavaliers trail by 9. One thing, Clark, that I've noticed about the Cavaliers, 2 of the last 3 playoff exits have come against the Celtics.
Well, part of that is matchups, but also part of it is confidence. The Celtics, an experienced, hardened team with 3 future Hall of Famers as the core of that squad. So they know that they have what it takes to beat anybody they face, and it just so happens that the Cavs have felt their wrath 2 of the last 3 years.
Here's Sessions. 45 seconds left in the first quarter. He's covered by Rondo. Verajao with it. 5 on the clock. Cleveland needs to get a shot off here. Here's Graham. Once again off the mark by Cleveland. Here are the Celtics with the ball. They're on a 17-4 run right now. Outside Rondo, and that's not going to fall for him. First quarter concluding here with a double-digit lead on the board. Celtics out in front, up 11.
Well, they're in attack mode now, Kevin. Every time they get the ball, they're coming right at you, looking for contact, and looking for buckets right at the 10.
The NBA, here on 2K Sports. And as the second quarter begins, it hasn't been the most competitive game so far. Here's Sessions.
You know, Kevin, you talk about Rajon Rondo, and his defense gets a lot of attention, and deservedly so. They talk about how quick he is. What maybe doesn't get enough attention is his vision. He's got tremendous court vision.
On the floor for Cleveland, getting going here in the second. Ramon Sessions and Anthony Parker in the backcourt. Moon out there with Hickson and Hollins. Celtics leading by 9. With the floater and almost gets it to go, so he'll shoot 2 here. Clark, going back to Rondo, he's always been comfortable running the show. He played all the sports growing up. In baseball, he was a pitcher. In football, he was a quarterback, always the point guard. In basketball, every time he wanted to be one of the guys that controlled the game.
Yeah, and I think that's where you see his confidence. This kid is unflappable. He's never distracted, and he's always in the moment.
Last season was an adventure for Nate Robinson, who fell out of favor with Knicks coach Mike D'Antoni and was benched for 14 games.
Yeah. You know, I know D'Antoni felt like he was a little too friendly with opposing players after losses, and Robinson also had that incident where he shot at their own basket right after the buzzer, so who knows?
And Cleveland has possession. They trail by 11. And here's Sessions. Dumps it off. Hickson backs him down. Pass to Parker. From deep. Can't hit, so Boston will take it the other way. One aspect of the Celtics game that has been so strong of late is, Clark, their defense. And, you know, they tied the Lakers for 5th best defensive efficiency in the NBA last season. I mean, they've been good for a long time on defense, and they carried that through again last year.
Well, when you've been as good as they have been, you know that's where you need to be solid on a consistent basis to win a championship. When you have Pierce on the outside and Garnett clogging up the middle, it gets very difficult to score points on the Celtics.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Kevin, thank you. Well, a painful finals loss for this Celtics team last season. 2 chances to finish off the Lakers. They were ahead in Game 7 for 3.5 quarters, but couldn't get the job done. Now, with an aging roster, the question becomes whether the Celtics have what it takes to make another run. Guys, we'll see what this season holds for them.
Well, I wouldn't count them out just yet, Doris. Thank you. I'll go back to the Celtics defense a second. You also need to mention Rondo hounding guards outside.
Without question, Kevin. And with his pressure, he is good for about 2 steals a game, deflections, disruption, frustration. I mean, he does all of that from his point guard position. And I always think it starts at the point of attack. And there's nobody better than Rondo at making it tough for opposing guards.
That one is off. Fans of the Celtics, they built such a rapport with their franchise. Each generation, it seems, to grow, and Boston now is a veteran team. You know, frankly, though, one of the older teams in the NBA.
Absolutely, Kevin. And there were a lot of questions about if their window might be passed or closing. I think the way they played in May answered all of those questions, though. They still are a championship caliber team and can turn it on when they need to.
So both teams changing it up here. Here's Williams. The Cavaliers again can't hit. Pass to Allen. Buries it. Allen's got 6 points. Here's Williams. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Timeout called the Cavaliers.
Here we go, Boston. Now coming to the court are your Celtics Jets. Here you are. All right. Let's keep it going for your Celtics dancers.
And it's out of bounds. The Celtics will take it the other way.
They can't do anything right. They can't even keep the ball in play. This game is getting very ugly and sloppy.
Here is Robinson. 15-point game. Arcs it high. Allen's shot is off. They have a lot of ground to make up here.
They're struggling. Nothing seems to be working for them right now.
Now Graham. And another miss by Cleveland.
They'll allow him to get that off all day.
Here's Pierce. And he makes the basket. So one free throw coming up as he'll try to make it a 3-point play. Sessions checked in for the Cavaliers.
At the line
The and one is good, so a three-point play that time. You know, you talk about, leading your conference, 38 wins last year by this Cavalier team. That is dominating your conference.
Well, you only play 52 conference games with the current schedule. That's a winning percentage, Kevin. When you talk about 38 wins, that's just north of 70%. 7 out of every 10 times you take the floor in the conference, you're winning that ball game.
I mean, the teams are so familiar with each other. It's harder to prepare.
It's much harder to prepare, but sometimes you grab a couple of those scheduling wins, we call it, when one team has been resting and the other has played 3 games in 4 nights.
Can't put an end to the scoring drought. Allen passes to Garnett. Back to Allen. To the wing. Garnett the pass to Allen. Jacks up the triple. Again, Allen missing. And thinking of the Cavs, they ended up on the short end of the playoffs, so the entire equation certainly isn't segment.
Well, Kevin, it's no secret. They certainly did come up short of their expectations in the postseason. And they've got to find ways to stay together, to grow mentally tougher, and then to be able to get those wins when the games count the most. And you and I both know the playoffs and the postseason much different than the regular season.
And that's mature. I mean, that's just getting used to each other and just growing with the game.
That's part of it. You have to sometimes go through the crucible of disappointments as a team before you find your way to the top of the mountain.
And the Cavaliers call time here. So both teams making some changes here. Here's Parker, looking for his first bucket of the game. For 3, that's good.
And there he goes. He didn't get a 3 in the first, but starting to look for it here.
Here's Rondo, and here's Boston. They're on an 11-3 run right now. Here's O'Neal. The shot, no good. And it's the Cavaliers taking it the other way. Here's Sessions. Jamison against Garnett. Jamison, no luck.
And they're getting it done on the glass today, Kevin.
Nice advantage here on the inside. Wafer. Sessions snatches it inside.
You can't D up a layup any better than that. Nice work.
And that's off as he tries to beat the buzzer.
The defense has really stepped up here to start this game. I like that. They came out ready to take care of business at that end of the floor. Solid defensive work across the board.
And the first half wraps up with a dominating performance underway.
Paul Pierce playing very well. He has 12 points, and he's still working hard for those rebounds. He's been putting it up, and it's been going down 100% from the floor.
Back here in just a moment here in Boston.
Well, it's time for our HP halftime report. Welcome, basketball fans. I'm Damon Bruce. The Celtics coming out of the gates in charge. A huge advantage in points in the paint. They're having their way inside. Well, Paul Pierce is making it look easy against the Cavaliers. He's got 12 points. He's shooting efficiently from both the floor and the free throw line. And for the Cavaliers, it's been all hustle. This is a disciplined team, and when it comes to boxing out, controlling the backboard with fundamental play, we've seen it so far. Antoine Jamison certainly paying dividends. Lighten up that scoreboard. He's making it ring like a pinball machine. And now we'll send you back to Boston for the start of the second half.